Hello and welcome to another video. Thank you very much for your time. We are grateful that you are able to join us on this video. I hope you find it useful. In the last video, I started talking about some of the reasons why you probably have not achieved certain important life goals and ambitions, some plans, things that you expected to be able to have done in this season of your life. I do hope that you don't have too many goals outstanding. But the question I asked in that video is, why is it that we are not able to achieve some or even all of our life's goals? What is the reason why some people are not able to achieve their life's goals? I would want you to personalize this and then to ask yourself that, why are you here, at this stage of your life? Why are certain goals, certain projections that you had for your lives, certain aspirations, why are they still outstanding? In that video, the first version edition of this, we looked at a few reasons. We mentioned 10, we talked about 5, and in this video, I complete the 5 remaining reasons why you probably still have very important goals still outstanding. Now, the first reason I talk about today is a lack of motivation and discipline. Somebody says that discipline is being able to do what you need to do, whether you feel like doing it or not. And that is critical, because there are certain times and there are certain seasons of your life where both physically and mentally you lack the energy and the drive, the motivation to go on and do certain things. Sometimes there can be justifiable reasons. For example, when it is very cold, for people watching this who live in extremes of weather, where the winter is cold, where summer can be very hot. In the cold seasons, if you've got it in your part of the world, sometimes it can be very difficult to get out of bed and then to do things. But that in itself does not justify why things cannot be done, because that is where then discipline comes in. So self-discipline, being able to motivate yourself, is important. And closely related to that is a lack of consistency in efforts. So sometimes the efforts towards work can be sporadic, and if the effort that one puts in is not consistent, it leads to either very little or no progress. So it is important that efforts are consistent and we put in our best efforts all the time. Very closely related to that is a lack of passion. So people sometimes work and pursue their goals, but they are working in a way of it is because, this can be because the issues, the ideals that they are working towards or working to achieve do not resonate personally with them. Sometimes people, for example, can't go to school because their parents want them to be there. So they don't find a reason, a justifiable reason within themselves why they should be there. And for such people, invariably, their outputs would be low and poor because of the low motivation. Another very important reason, still talking about a lack of motivation and discipline, is inadequate effort. Now, if you consistently put in a certain level of effort, inadequate effort, you will get probably the same results. Albert Einstein is credited with this saying, which is said to be the clinical definition for insanity, that insanity is doing things in a particular way and expecting different results. What this means is that if consistently you do things in a particular way, you will get about the same results. There are people, for example, who are looking to maybe lose weight, and they do well by exercising every day. Maybe they may go on a walk. if you go on a specified length of work or duration, maybe you work for 30 minutes, the recommendation is that over a week you do is it 2 hours, of brisk walking. Now, if this is all you do and you eat the same amounts of food, you find that at some point, your progress, you can lose weight up to a point, but at some point, your progress stalls. If you need to see additional increases in terms of your goal of losing weight, then you may need to add on additional elements or dimensions to the exercise regime. So you may, for example, want to add on strength training, lifting weights and all, so that it adds another dimension and it helps you to burn some additional fat, which your old or usual exercise routine is unable to shift. Another reason why people are not able to achieve their life's goals is the possession of a negative mindset. And related to that would be pessimism, where people focus on negative things and potential negative outcomes. Now, sometimes this can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you keep expecting negative things to happen, or anything that you keep expecting, you keep focusing on, would invariably happen. So please beware of the negative mindset if you are struggling to achieve certain goals. Closely related to that is having a fixed mindset, where people believe that their abilities and intelligence is static, and that prevents people from trying things that would help them to grow. So sometimes we've got that fixated mentality where we are not willing to try things, So there are people who, especially if they don't know people who propose new things, they wouldn't want to try them at all. So keeping an open mind and expecting or setting new possibilities can be a trigger for growth beyond what you've traditionally achieved. Another reason why people don't achieve their goals is when they get overwhelmed or they have burnout. So not giving oneself enough time to rest and recuperate between activities can be a serious issue or reason why people don't achieve their goals. So there are people who are almost always lethargic, tired. They are not sleeping enough hours, so they are always tired and they don't have the physical energy to be able to chase and pursue their dreams in the way that they need to. So rest is very important. There are different schools of thought. There are some popular personalities. People have argued, for example, Donald Trump, who is reputed to be able to get by on just 4 hours a day. And that is something, it's quite special, if one is able to do that. But generally, it is expected that one has around 7 hours, if you can afford it, up to 8 hours. That might be pushing it a bit. But the point is that one needs to give themselves enough time to rest and then to recharge your energies, to stay fresh. And that gives you the mental and the physical energy that you need to pursue and follow your goals. Resistance to change is also another very important reason why people sometimes struggle to achieve their goals. So that resistance to change might mean that people are tempted to stay in what they perceive to be their comfort zone. I said before that nothing tried, nothing gained, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So people stay put, they don't try any new things, and because of that, they don't see any change or any progression. Now, comfortable situations can be a very major cause of lack of growth. Another cause related to the resistance to change is inflexibility, when people are unwilling to adapt new approaches to doing things, new ways of doing things, to innovate. So people would just do things the same old ways, especially when everybody else is doing it in that same way. Some people may not find any cause to change what is the traditionally accepted way. But if you want to achieve, especially if you want to achieve new things and beyond what the ordinary people are achieving, then you should be willing to do things that ordinary people are not willing to do. A final reason why people do not achieve their life's goals is because of societal and cultural barriers. So sometimes society has expectations of people, and this could be, either discrimination and bias based on people's either gender, um, background, race, ethnicity, age, for example. So in certain societies, children are expected, especially in relation to adults, to behave in a certain way. There are certain societies where young people can, under no circumstances, challenge the opinions of older folks. And that might work, quite well within those contexts. But there are also other contexts where young people in school are taught to challenge the teacher if you don't agree with them. So these cultural and societal norms can have some significant effects on one's ability to achieve their life's goals. So if, for example, you've been educated in a system where everything the teacher says is right, and you just write it down and reproduce it another day. If you found yourself in another society where you are challenged or given opportunities to challenge the status quo, you might struggle. So discrimination can be a cause. Still talking about discrimination, sometimes, in certain societies, people of certain genders, or certain races or ethnicities are prevented. Sometimes it is not directly, but sometimes it can be indirectly through or unconsciously through the structures that the society has established. So, for example, if you go to certain countries, you may find that within the political leadership, you don't find people from certain races. In many countries in Europe, the advanced world, even in countries which have significant migrant populations, people from different ethnicities, you may find that there is sometimes the what is called the glass ceiling. So you may find that either women are not being able to progress to certain levels, or people from minority groups are not able to progress. And as I said, sometimes it is unconsciously through the structures that are set. For example, some societies have been described, sometimes through formal reports initiated by the leadership in those countries, that certain institutions are perceived to be institutionally racist. So if you find yourself within that context, then you might find that that unseen glass ceiling prevents you from achieving the goals that you set for yourself. I talked about the cultural norms, and expectations, which sometimes influence one's ability to progress. So, children or young people coming up from certain societies, maybe sometimes you are discouraged actively by the older people that don't try this. People like us or people like you don't do those things. So it can have very significant effects and impacts on one's outcomes generally. So in short, these are some of the reasons why people don't achieve their goals. And hopefully some of these might resonate with you. And if it does, then you want to ask yourself that what can I do to make sure that these do not keep preventing me from progressing. And I will encourage strongly that you put into action or measures, put into action measures that can help. That can help you to overcome these barriers that prevent you from achieving your life's goals. This is where we bring this to an end. Hopefully you found this useful. If you did, can I encourage you to subscribe to this channel? It's always great to hear what people think about the messages, the issues that we raise. So please use the comment section to drop us a line or two on your key takeaways. Even if it is something we haven't mentioned, but which you think is also another important reason why people are kept from achieving their goals. I hope to see you in the next video. Once again, thank you for your time. I wish you all the very best. See you again very soon. Thank you.